Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to BYJU'S Exam Prep. How are you guys today? Good evening everyone. I hope you can hear and see me very clearly. I hope everyone is ready for my last class in the crash course. Every time I say last, it actually gives me more goosebumps than it does to you. But as we come closer to the examination, we need to remind ourselves that we've worked very, very hard and all that we're doing is going to pay us off. Nothing's going to go in vain. Just remind yourself this, that we're working very hard. All of this is worthwhile. All of this will be paid off. Yeah. So good evening, everyone in the app as well. I hope I'm clearly audible and visible to you as well. So now, since I've already said that this is my last class in the crash course, not my last class with you, I'm going to be coming back in the marathon that we're going to have. I'll be coming live again tomorrow in the mock analysis, but in the crash course, this marks my last class today. So we've had 3 classes already. In the first class, we discussed how to read a passage effectively. A few techniques we discussed, like identifying the keywords, skimming through the passage, making a mind map, right? In the second class, we practiced some questions. In the third class, that happened a few days back, we did inference-based questions. And then when I asked you guys in the last class that which is one question that you find the most difficult, a lot of you answered as अच्छा, तो I think culprit is mock 24. भाई देखो 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 सुनो एक मिनट देखो everyone let me bring you guys back to we're just losing it. But देखो the exam is coming closer and I'm sure it's a little taxing, not a little, it's a lot taxing for you guys. Anxiety is increasing every single day as the examination comes closer. On top of that, we give you a mock which is mock 24, which is not one of the easiest mocks. But remember, there are reasons why we give you some mocks as easy ones and some as difficult ones. It certainly is not to demotivate you. Okay? It is only and only to prepare you for whatever may come in the examination. So one thing that you need to learn from that mock is, if at all the actual paper is going to be supremely difficult, are you going to be demotivated by that time when you see the paper in the examination? You can't afford to do that. अगर examination में paper बहुत difficult आ गया, तो demotivate नहीं होना है. एक बात अपने आप को remind करिए that the paper is going to be difficult for every single person. It's going to be difficult for the topper as well. So if the paper comes difficult, if you find it difficult, remember, you worked hard and the paper is difficult for every single person. If there's a new topic that comes up in the examination that you hadn't prepared for, very likely most of the other kids also have not prepared for it. So just keep your calm in the paper. Don't let any scope for demotivation. इस जंक्चर पे आके आप demotivation जैसा वर्ड यूज ही नहीं कर सकते बच्चे. आपको एक बात याद रखनी पड़ेगी कि मैंने बहुत मेहनत करी है. And more than you trust yourself, I trust the efforts that you've given. I know most of you who come to my classes, apart from people with names like Demon Gaming. I don't know who you are, but other people, I know most of you, and I know what you've been doing in the classes. And I trust your performance. I trust your preparation. You need to trust yourself as well. Right? तो एक बार जल्दी से मुझे victory sign भेज दो in the chat so that I know that you are ready for this session and we are going to be making the most of it. While we come out of this session, we are going to be more confident. I will ensure that by the end of the session, you're more confident. Yes. Okay? So you're more confident. You are more sure of your success by the end of the session. Yes? Everyone? In the app as well. Good evening. Absolutely, Prince. Correct. तो रौनक देखो, अगर अभी ये सोचोगे ना तो शायद कुछ हासिल भगवान ना करे, बट हो सकता है कुछ हाथ से निकल जाए. हम एग्जाम देने से पहले कभी नहीं सोचते कि भगवान मुझे कुछ अगर हासिल नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा. मैं एग्जाम देते टाइम ये सोचती हूँ कि मैं इस एग्जाम को क्लियर करके आऊंगी. एटलीस्ट 1 वीक पहले तो मैं इस चीज का स्कोप रख ही नहीं सकती हूँ कि एग्जाम नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा. नहीं हुआ तो फिगर आउट कर ही लेंगे ना आप और मैं मिलके कुछ ना कुछ एग्जाम के बाद कि क्या होगा, है लाइफ साइड नहीं होगा, आपके लिए भी कुछ बढ़िया होगा, मेरे लिए भी कुछ बढ़िया होगा, विल फिगर आउट समथिंग टुगेदर। तो नहीं होगा होगा ये सब हम लास्ट एग्जामिनेशन डे के बाद सोचेंगे। अभी बहुत मेहनत करी, अभी और मेहनत करनी है, एक वीक लगातार बहुत फुल प्रेशर लगा के, और कोई होना नहीं होना सब ऑलमाइटी पे डिपेंडेंट है। अब आपकी मेहनत में कमी नहीं होनी चाहिए, एवरीथिंग इज गोना बी फाइन। सो आज के सेशन में आप क्या करेंगे, नाउ आई थिंक आप लोगों को ना थोड़ा सा पुलिंग अप का नेसेसिटी है, तो I am not going to be making you to 3 passages today. I'll be making you to 2. But I will ensure that you score at least 90% correct in the 2 ones. Other people, if you think the chat in the YouTube channel distracts you, you can come to the app and then we can do the questions simultaneously there because the chat is private there. ठीक है? तीसरी चीज, अगर आप peer pressure में आके क्वेश्चन मार्क कर देते हो, जैसे सबने सी बोला तो आपने भी सी मार्क कर दिया, in such a case, don't just reply to my chats. Mark your answers in the notebook so that you're not influenced by peer pressure कि सबने सी मार्क किया तो मुझे भी सी मार्क करना है, ऐसा नहीं होता ना, एग्जामिनेशन में तो ऐसा नहीं होगा. So keep a notebook with you. In fact, I would highly recommend all of you should keep a notebook with you, which will help you answer questions correctly. It will help you mark keywords. It will help you underline that you can't do right now because we are online. ठीक है? तो yes, now everyone's actually pepped up. ठीक है, so आज what are we going to be focusing on today? मैम मैं जैन से नवंबर तक क्लैट इग्नाइट कंप्लीट कर लूंगा एग्जाम, ये देखो क्लैट इग्नाइट की बात मैं नहीं करूंगी अभी, ठीक है. चलो तो पैप अप कर देती हूँ मैं आप लोगों को. What are we going to be doing in the class today? Last class when I asked you which is the most difficult question that you fear dealing with, some of you said inference, which we have dealt with in the last class. A lot of you answered tone and main theme. Are you ready to deal with it today? I have 2 passages. We're going to be doing tone based questions, theme based questions, and some CR based questions and some inference based questions. But both the passages will certainly have tone, theme, vocabulary for sure in both the passages. The word is highlighted, it will be highlighted in the actual examination. So while you read the word, read the context of it. Ready everyone? Yes. So here we go with the very first passage. What are we going to be doing? We'll be understanding the correct approach to tone of the author, main theme of the passage, and we'll be solving some passages. But before that, tomorrow 11 a.m. we go live with our 4th All India Mock Open Analysis. So if you've taken the mock or if you haven't, make sure you attend that live. We'll be telling you your strategy that you can adopt or changes that you can still do that will ensure your scores increase. Tomorrow 11 a.m. all of us are going to be coming live back to back. Okay, so let's begin. A quick recap. What is that one thing we focus on while we try to find the tone of the author according to you? If you have a tone of the author based question, what is that we focus on predominantly to get this question correct? I look like a white witch. Nonetheless, what is that we focus on? Let's see. Opinion? Absolutely yes. 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 Why is the author writing the passage? Opinion? Correct. Absolutely. Most of you have actually got that correct. So let me bifurcate that very quickly in the next 1 minute. If we have a tone of the author question, which very likely is going to be there, at least 2 to 3 questions तो आएंगे पूरे पेपर में, 24 marks, 25 marks में से. Tone of the author question में, the first and the most important thing I think is to identify the main theme. See, main theme and tone are actually interconnected. If you're reading a passage, I always say you need to know the main theme. If you know the main theme, you will know the tone. They are absolutely interconnected because if you don't know this, it's a little difficult to identify the tone unless and until it's a story. You know the tone of story is going to be narrative even if you do not know what the story is about, right? But most of the other passages, if the author is criticizing or appreciating or nonchalant towards something, you need to know the main theme. Okay, so always focus on identifying the main theme. Second, if we know the main theme, we need to focus on the opinion of the author. When I say the main theme, it is exactly saying why has the passage been written? What is the author trying to say? Then we focus on the opinion of the author. So basically what we have to do is identify if at all there is any opinion or not. On the basis of the opinion, we categorize our tone into 3 categories. What were they? Very quickly, everyone. Yes. What were these 3? Exactly, Kritik. Correct. If there is an opinion or not, we have 3 categories of tones in that matter of fact. We either have positive, negative, or neutral. Absolutely. So if there is no opinion, my tone is going to be one of the neutral ones, like narrative or expository or analytical or descriptive. But if the author has an opinion, it's going to be either a positive or a negative one. So there are various degrees of positive tones, various degrees of negative tones. Degrees could be like blackening, defamatory, critical, mendacious, or positive ones could be appreciative, reverential, many degrees of positive tones. Correct. Absolutely. Now, I, of course, am not today going to be discussing the different words. What does condescending mean or what does melancholy mean? ये आपको पता होना चाहिए था अभी तक और नहीं पता है तो अभी भी अगर एक दिन की मेहनत करोगे तो ये आ जाएंगे वर्ड्स. तो एक रिकैप कर लेना, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, इस पे क्वेश्चन जरूर आएगा एग्जाम में. ठीक है, अभी हम फोकस करेंगे कि ओपिनियन है या नहीं है, एंड इफ there is an opinion, one of these two. If there is no opinion, then a neutral tone. This is the only thing that's necessary for you to be able to answer tone of the author question correctly. Alternatively, if I have a main theme based question, in the main theme based question, always remember, if I have a main theme based question or a title based question, what is that we have to look at? I'm sure aapko rat gaya hoga ye. What is that we need to look for a main theme based question? Because there are going to be close options in today's class as well. And if you get this correct, you'll get the consecutive questions, inference based questions correct as well. Okay, that's the paragraph I had to read, Krishna. Assume narrated story. The narrator is constantly belittling and dismissing the actions of the characters. It will not be narrative then. Okay, because as far as I understand from your passage that you've given me, see guys, everyone read Krishna's chat, everyone in the app, Krishna tells me that if there is a story that the author has quoted and the author himself is criticizing the actions of the character, that means the author has an opinion of the characters and he is criticizing them. So when there is a story but the author is giving an opinion about that, that means the passage becomes an opinionated one. In such a case, the main purpose of the passage is not telling you the story, but the main purpose becomes criticism to the characters. So, the opinion is going to be negative and tone as well is going to be a negative one. If you are ever confused between close tones, the one trick that's going to come handy is to identify why is the passage written. That is the main theme. Passage लिखा क्यों है? क्रिटिसाइज करने को लिखा है या स्टोरी बताने के लिए लिखा है? स्टोरी बताने के लिए लिखा होता तो क्रिटिसाइज नहीं करता, or vice versa as well. So if criticism is the theme, if criticism is why the passage has been written, then the tone is going to be a negative one. But merely telling us what happened when the Bhopal gas leak tragedy happened, I'm just narrating a story to you. Even if the content of it is pretty negative, my tone is going to be a neutral one. I hope that makes sense to everyone. Correct, Subhashini? All righty. Chalo. Let's move on. Getting back to the main theme based question. Always, when you have closed options, we look at a broader option. We look at an option that would cover up most of the parts of the passage. There may be some options that may be explicitly or implicitly present in the passage, but if they are only a part of the passage, those options cannot be our correct answer. Our correct answer will be one option that covers up the entire gamut of all the things mentioned in the passage. The whole passage will be a part of this broader option. I frequently use a bird's eye view for this. So if you are a bird, if you're looking at the passage, you look at the entire thing from the top. That's what the correct option does, including every single thing in the passage. If you have a premise in one of the options, of course, that's incorrect. If you have an option that does not talk about the claim of the author or the argument of the author, is going to be an incorrect one. So I think the most important thing for you to get the main theme based question correct is finding out an option that's the most broader one. The most broad one includes एक ऐसा ऑप्शन जो शायद बाकी सारे ऑप्शंस को भी अपना सबसेट बना के लेके चलता हो. जैसे अगर ये ऑप्शन सी है तो शायद ए बी और डी इसी के सबसेट्स हैं, तो सबसेट कभी भी आंसर नहीं होगा. सेट, मेन सेट इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर. Yes. And apart from that, of course, we'll look at word bath and keywords. पेपर में कौन सा सेक्शन आप पहले अटेंड करेंगे आप पे डिपेंड करेगा बच्चे. सो नवीन, मॉक्स दीजिए बहुत सारे और मॉक में बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट कीजिए कि आप किस स्ट्रैटेजी के साथ कंफर्टेबल हैं. सो we are going to be applying both the things to today's class. We are going to be focusing on main theme by default, simultaneously answering tone, and then a lot of inference-based questions. Let's begin, everyone. Here's the very first page. Read the page and send me a done. You can make notes if you want to for your mind mapping. Okay. What's your answer, guys? In the app? D, B, A, B. Okay. We've got various answers. Okay. D and B. Alrighty. The correct answer is a B. The cultural clash between Eastern and Western views on authenticity. We have a lot of times seen the opinion of the author here. Now, before I explain this answer to you, I want you to answer the next question as well. And then we'll go back to discussing the main theme. Question number 2. What's your answer for question number 2? I can't see that in the chat for some reason. Okay, now I can. See? Unanimous C? I've got only one correct answer, and that's 𝗟𝗲𝗴𝗹 and Krishna. It's an A. And Akshat. It's an A. I think it's time to go back to the passage and understand it. Let's see if we can find the opinion of the author. The author starts off with a general description of two different concepts of copy. One, it's a copy, but there's an obvious difference, right? For example, when you go to see Taj Mahal के बाद तुम्हें Taj Mahal का replica मिलेगा. It is a copy, but of course there's a clear difference here, right? It's not an exact replica. So Taj Mahal is a copy, but there are differences. And 𝗟𝗴𝗴𝗃 is a copy that's an exact replica. There's no difference. So maybe replica of paintings, replica of a wall art, right? Maybe a door that's engraved or carved out. This is an exact reproduction. Now, what do you think is the opinion Chinese people have about 𝗟𝗴𝗃? That is an exact replica. How do they look at it? Are they appreciative of it, or are they criticizing it, or are they promoting it or discrediting it? What do you think is the opinion of Chinese people regarding an exact replica? That's exactly why I told you not to answer if peer pressure can influence you. Absolutely appreciative. They think it's a very good thing. It's as good as original. And that's exactly why they send across copies instead of the original work to Western museums. And then of course Westerners say, ये क्या भेज दिया? Original भेजना चाहिए था. Why did you even send it? And then there is a conflict. Chinese take it as an offense. They say, we've sent an exact copy. It's difficult to differentiate. Yet if you're critical, you're just a loser. So nonetheless, we for now know that there is a difference in opinion on copies, how China looks at it, and Western countries look at them. There's a difference in opinion. Westerners criticize copies. Chinese say, it's okay, it's an exact copy. There's no practical difference at all. Remember, it's an exact reproduction with no difference. क्योंकि difference होता तो वो fancy pin होता. ठीक है? Now we come back to Far Eastern notion. So basically we're coming to China and then furthermore East. They say that, you know, even if you refer to, पता है जब वो बात करते हैं shrines की, they've given us an example of shrine to showcase that how valuable can religious places be for us. Even if these religious places are completely remade every 20 years, does the faith diminish or do we still go there to pray? It doesn't diminish. That means आपने सेम कॉपी बना दिया, हमको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ईस्टर्नर्स को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, सेम कॉपी बना दिया, मेरे लिए तो जगह वही है ना. अब बिरला मंदिर में कांस्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन चलता है तो हमको फर्क नहीं पड़ता. We have belief in it, or maybe 𝗟𝗲𝗴𝗃 for that matter of fact when Subhashini said it, right? Audio is not clear, lagging in the app. I don't think so. Nobody else says it in the app. Everything good, guys? I don't think anything is an issue. Please fix your internet. ठीक है? तो आगे चलते हैं. The author says that there are places of worship that are rebuilt from scratch every 20 years, but people still go there to pray. And then there's another example of a cathedral, even that is constantly undergoing renovation, yet people don't care. They go there to pray. Basically, Easterners, they are not concerned about replicating or renovation. They still have their faith intact. Okay? Fundamentally, this is the same operation as the Japanese shrine, except in this case, the production of the replica takes place very slowly over a long period of time. But nonetheless, आप जब replica करते हो daily, धीरे-धीरे करके, या हर 20 साल में नया बनाते हो, eventually you have a new structure built. You have a replica built. You don't have the original thing, yet your faith is intact there. Now the author gives the example of West. It says, in 17th century in the West, excavated artworks from antiquity were treated quite differently from today. Today, how the West looks at art form, they say, no, we don't want any copy. But in the 17th century, they were not restored in a way that was faithful to the original one. They made some changes. I think itna sufficient hai aapke liye question number 1 answer karne ke liye before I discuss the passage furthermore. So, the central theme is not only historical evolution of Western art. It's about how Easterners see art and replication of it and how Westerners see it. And there's a clear conflict here. Westerners believe it's not authentic if you replicate it. Easterners say it's equally authentic if it's an exact copy. Now, are you convinced with B as the answer, everyone? Guys, if the screen is blurred in the app, you can please join me on the YouTube channel. I don't know what's wrong in the app. Okay? Others, if it's working fine with you, stick with me. Guys, are you convinced with B as the answer? B says the historical evolution of restoration practice in Western art. Then why will we talk about Chinese? And what happened in Japan with the shrine or the cathedral? We will not refer to all of that, right? Let's go to question number 2, everyone. Okay, which one of the following copies would a Chinese museum be unlikely to consider as having less value than the original? Question समझो क्या बोल रहा है? Question कह रहा है Chinese museum ऐसी कौन सी कॉपी को equally valuable मानेगा? Which of these 4 examples will the Chinese museum consider equally valuable? A first copy. A copy that's an exact one. Chinese say, copy hai, but exact hai. That means it's equally good. We can send it to Western museums as well. It's that great a copy. It doesn't matter. Easterners say, copy, we don't care. If it is exact, we're happy. Chinese museums are very happy with copies. They send across first copies. Pablo Picasso's painting of Vincent van Gogh's original painting, it is identical in every respect. If it's identical, Chinese museums are happy. They say copies, we're good to go with that. Did you get why A is the correct answer? Yes, Anjana, which will be identical to the original. Understood? So, a lot of you marked C. A lot of you. Pablo Picasso's miniaturized. भाई ये तो miniaturized हो गया, मतलब exact copy नहीं है. That means they probably wouldn't value this one as much as they would value an identical one. This is what they would prefer. ठीक है? Lavi, you did not understand the question. Unlikely to consider as having less value. That means उनके लिए वो equal value रखती है. ठीक है? Negative, negative. Please understand the question. All right. So, it's resolved in the app. Great. So, question number 2 is done. Let's have a look at question number 3, everyone. But before that, did you hit the like button? I have like what? How many? 81 people live. I have 52 likes. It doesn't work like that with us. No, it doesn't. Go ahead, hit the like button. Make it reach an 80 right away before I show you the next question. It's a give and take, right? You remember? Let me remind you that. Thank you if you've already done it. Question number 3. I think I've already answered this question while explanation. I've answered this already. Yes, it's a D. I actually answered this while explaining the passage, my bad. Basically, they are places of worship. They're constantly being rebuilt. They are very old structures. But one is continually undergoing restoration. The other one goes restoration or renewal after every 20 years. It's rebuilt completely. So only one of it is continually undergoing restoration. The other one isn't. So I will not discuss it. My bad. Next question. I think this as well was answered. Why did I even discuss the passage? Okay. 𝗟𝗲𝗴𝗹 D. D. Everyone says a D. I have only a few correct answers. That's the first one is from Krishna, and then we have 𝗟𝗲𝗴𝗹 and Subhashini and Hitesh and Shrikiyadi. It's a C. Let's understand why. So in the 17th century, what the Westerners currently think of replicating art not being the correct way, replicating monuments is not the correct way. It wasn't that way earlier. In the 17th century, Westerners actually restored in not a very faithful way. They added a lot of changes in the appearance. That's what happened in the 17th century in the West. We see a lot of changes even when restoration happened. Okay, now keep that in mind. Let's have a look at this question. 17, the question is, which of the following does not follow? Okay, a 17th century French artist who adhered to Christian worldview would need to be completely true to the original intent. No, on the contrary, in the 17th century, they do not need to be true to the original content or intent. They actually, while restoring it, would add their own personal touch, will make modifications. That's what happened in the 17th century. So this is something that's unlikely to follow from the data of the passage. D is absolutely true. 21st century Christian scientists is likely to oppose cloning, absolutely, because they believe that replicating is not right. That's probably why Westerners are against cloning, unlike Japanese and Chinese and other Easterners. So this is correct. It follows from the passage. A 20th century Japanese Buddhist will be okay with a reconstructed shrine. We had an example of a shrine that was reconstructed and Buddhist monks going there and praying with equal faith. So we had this example there. 17th century British painter would have no problem adding personal touches. Yes, that's what the line said. In fact, this is the opposite of A, and that's exactly why C is going to be the correct answer. ठीक है? फिर से समझा दूं? Okay, फिर से समझाती हूँ. Exactly, 𝗟𝗲𝗴𝗹. That's what I'm saying. A and C, please compare both of it. A is written in the line that I showed you, that in the 17th century, British painters, when they try to replicate something, they would add their own personal touch. उनको 17th सेंचुरी में ये आइडिया था, पैराग्राफ पे लिखा हुआ है जो मैंने आपको पैसेज पढ़ाया था उसमें, कि 17th सेंचुरी में ये ट्रेंड था कि सब कुछ एग्जैक्ट कॉपी नहीं करना, कुछ कुछ चेंज करके नया बना दो थोड़ा सा उसको, ठीक है। इसका मतलब ये लाइन पैराग्राफ से फॉलो करती है। इसी का बिल्कुल उल्टा सी में दिया हुआ है कि वो बिल्कुल ओरिजिनल कॉपी करेगा 17th सेंचुरी में। ऐसा नहीं है, 17th सेंचुरी का ट्रेंड तो उल्टा है, पर्सनल टच डालना। एग्जैक्ट कॉपी करेगा तो वो गलत हो जाएगा। दिस इज समथिंग दैट्स unlikely to follow from the paragraph that I made you read about 17th century artists. ठीक है? All right, I think everyone understood it. So everyone in the app, did you understand why D is incorrect? All right, let's go back to the next question. You want to go back to the passage? I'm sure all of you will say yes. Yes, Prince, absolutely inference based. Which of the following is true based tha? So I'll take you back to the passage. And unassailable original, something that cannot be challenged, is unassailable for your ease. Here it is, but I'll take you to the next page as well. The same paragraph about the 17th century artists. Here you go. Don't be impulsive, guys. Please read the question carefully. तुम मेरी नाक कटवाओगे सब। अल्पा मैम ने पढ़ाया था इंग्लिश, ऐसे मत करो यार, इतना इंपल्सिव नहीं होते, समझते हैं क्वेश्चन को। यूनानिमस डी है, सब गलत है। एवरीवन। भाई साहब, changing it to A. The correct answer is a B. It's a B. Yes, Mahip. It is a B. Let's understand the question. The value that the modern West assigned to unassailable original has resulted in all of the following. It allows regular employment of certain craftsmen. Yes, because you use craftsmen to replicate things. It can follow from the passage. It discourages them from making interventions in ancient art. What does unassailable mean? It cannot be challenged. That's exactly why it discourages them from making interventions. They will not intervene into ancient art because it is unassailably original. It cannot be replicated. It discourages them from simultaneous displays of multiple copies of painting because they do not believe in copies, because original is unassailable. But it discourages them from carrying out human cloning. See, they have an opinion, the fact that human cloning shouldn't happen. But does that mean they aren't practicing human cloning themselves? Can you be sure about that? अगर मेरे माइंड में एक ओपिनियन है कि ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, क्या, और मैं आपसे कहती हूं आपको लेट नहीं उठना चाहिए सुबह, डज दैट मीन मैं लेट नहीं उठती हूं? You can't say that about me, right? I might say कि ह्यूमन क्लोनिंग होनी नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि ओरिजिनल तो एक ही है, ह्यूमन तो एक ही है. But because everyone else is doing, I might be joining the bandwagon and doing it myself as well. My opinion here doesn't matter. We cannot be sure of B. It may be true, may not be true. Next question, everyone. Here we go. Tone, you should be able to get this correct now. I've explained the passage thoroughly. Okay. डरो मत यार इतना, बताओ आंसर. शाबाश. Unanimously. देखो, एक क्वेश्चन गलत हो सकता है out of 6 but or 7 maybe, but that's fine. It is B. Absolutely, yes. Don't double question or doubt yourself. Yeah, once in a while, one question, it's okay. Even the topper doesn't score 120, so it's fine. It is a B. He's analytical and impartial. He's just looking at the differences. Okay, so it's a B. Correct. And the last question. Scruples. I'll take you back to the passage. Although I had highlighted the word, you should have read it then and there because you need to know the contextual meaning. I'll take you back. Scruples. Oh, we left it behind. Here it is. It is probably this intellectual position that explains why Asians have far fewer scruples about cloning than Europeans. So, here it is. What's your answer in the app? Yeah, scruples here is a doubt or a hunch or something that stops you from doing something. But Asians have no scruples. They have no considerations. Nothing stops them. It's a C. Religious नहीं है. Cloning का religion से कोई लेना देना नहीं है यहाँ. No. Cloning is about copies and how comfortable you are with copies. In religion, without religion, it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with how good or bad you see cloning or making copies. If you think it's ethical or not. Westerners think it's unethical to make copies, whereas unassailable they call it. Whereas the Easterners say it's fine. By the time it's, and वहां देखो एक एग्जाम्पल दिया है बुद्धिज्म का. जैसे कि बुद्धिज्म बिलीव करता है रीइंकारनेशन में, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप सब चीजों में रिलीजियस डाल दोगे फिर, है ना. इट्स अबाउट मोरालिटी. या सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज द सी. And now, before I move to the next passage, we come live tomorrow 11 a.m. with our 4th All India mock open analysis. Do not miss out on it to gain some extra scores. I still have so many people who are watching me live and who haven't liked the session yet. What are you waiting for? Please do that right away. It's my much demanded Guru Dakshina that you need to repay for. है ना? ऐसे काम नहीं चलता है. जल्दी से hit the like button and share the video. Spam कर दो सारे family WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, all those CLAT groups that you're a part of. सब जगह share कर दो. Thank you if you've done that already. Passage 2. Have fun, read the page and send me a done. Remember, we have a main theme and tone-based question and vocab-based question here as well. सही और गलत, ethically सही. Oh yeah, I'm right here. What's your answer? Fingers crossed. I hope you're going to get it correct. All my love to you. मेरे नाक नहीं कटवाओगे तुम. It is a B. For sure, a B. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. It is cautious and critical. I'll not answer what the main theme is and why is B the correct answer. We'll discuss that later on. Question number 2. Behemoths. The literal meaning is also the contextual meaning. You can answer it without going back. I wouldn't take you back. Okay? Probably you need to go back then. Okay, so we have these Silicon Valley behemoths to confuse public. What are these behemoths? Here is your question. It is a D. Yeah. What does literally behemoth here mean? These are big, giant Silicon Valley people, organizations who are trying to force screen into your lives, yet their own children are going to the world of schools, close to the nature. T. Next question, everyone. Supremely easy. Yes, they're very influential. They're pretty big, influential ones. I'll take you back, Ishita. Exactly, it's B. Now see, the whole passage focuses on how screens are keeping you away from human contact. It is more likely to be seen as a luxurious product, a luxurious commodity that only the rich can afford to, because the poor are so involved with the screens and they don't even realize, right? So it increases human contact. Can screen time increase human contact or reduce human contact? Imagine if I and my child were in the same room, she is using a separate tab, watching some CocoMelon videos, and I am watching some reels on Instagram. Is it increasing our contact or decreasing? It's obviously decreasing our contact. Screen time reduces human contact, does not increase. The author is least likely to endorse B. It's probably the easiest question. Depression is mentioned. While we were discussing this paragraph, I think one of you actually pointed out that it's something for real. It actually makes you more depressed if you're dependent on screen. The paragraph says that. I'll point it out. Next question, everyone. It's a little tricky. Think carefully here. Absolutely, Parth, correct. Yes, Tanzila, I did. Yes, my children, it is a C. Absolutely. The richer you are, the more you spend to be off screen. I mean, I would rather go to a country where there's no network, on an island, be isolated if I had loads of money. So, the richer you are, the more time you can spend off screen. How comfortable someone is with human engagement could actually become a new class marker. Class marker here is directly associated to you being rich. And when we say how comfortable someone is with human engagement, it is a result of you being away from screen. There's a line in the passage that says, let me show you that line. How comfortable someone is with human engagement could actually become a new class marker. If there are poor kids who are so much into screen, they're not going to be comfortable with other people because there's less human contact. Only the rich can afford to be comfortable with other people because they're away from screens. They can afford to be away from screens because these are the same kids who are the kids of the Silicon Valley behemoths who go to the world of schools and not the regular ones. So we have this question. See, are you okay? Next question, everyone. Yes, Prince, I would agree to that. It's a little tricky. I think the only tricky question in the passage. Think carefully and answer. It's not A. Social contact is different from human contact. Social contact is you and I connecting on Instagram or Facebook. Screen actually does that. It provides you social contact. It doesn't provide you human contact. So A actually is correct. A can be agreed by the author. A नहीं होगा. यार D तो पूरे last paragraph में लिखा हुआ है ना. That these tech giants, what do? They insist on you getting programs in a school that ensures every child has a laptop. क्या कर रहे हो यार? देखो. Read this line. It's a C. C actually is something that cannot be inferred from anywhere. I'll show you. So there's a growth in computer-based teaching public schools. Correct. Rich kids don't go to these public schools. They go to those Waldorf schools. Correct. It increases social contact. Correct. It does not increase human contact. Some workers face punitive action if they're not online. Yes, and that's exactly why they have to be available all the time on phones. Correct. But why are people using more devices, more content, more viewing of screen? Not because of failing costs. We are not sure of it. कि पैकेज सस्ता हो गया तो ज्यादा मोबाइल देखेंगे. We aren't sure of it. We can assume it on our own, but the passage doesn't say that. That's exactly why C looks beyond the scope of the passage. That's why C is the correct answer. Understood why B is true as per the paragraph? I'll show you that line as well if you're confused. Here. A worker can be punished for going offline and not being available. So B is given in the paragraph. Okay. Next question. I wouldn't take you back for this. I've discussed why not A. Yes, they're promoting screen time for public schools. They're imposing it. They have a group of people actually analyzing the psyche of public school kids and parents where they will force their laptops, but their own children will go to to schools that are those Waldorf oriented. FYI, you know what these Waldorf oriented schools are? They actually teach you through nature. They teach you everything connected with nature, natural, no screen, absolutely zero. And apparently, these unconventional schools like Waldorf or Montessori ones are the most expensive ones. It actually proves, because I have a child who goes to a school, so I can firsthand tell you the experience. These schools were by far the most expensive ones. It proves the point that it's for the rich. So they promote screen time in public schools where opting for them, their own children, they opt screen-free education. And that brings us towards the end of our class. I forgot to give you homework. कोई बात नहीं, कल KD sir की class 9 p.m. and then 1st of December all of us come together for our mega last marathon. Don't miss out on that, guys. I'm sure everyone is very excited. Yeah, for that. So I want all of you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. I want you to hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. Thank you if you've done that already. And catch us live tomorrow. Remember, 11 a.m. Yes, I'll see you again tomorrow morning. We'll discuss how this paper should have been attempted, how you could have scored better. And I'll see you on the D-Day as well with our analysis. For CLAT 25 aspirants, we have a new batch. That's the number of our counselors. You can call them on this number. Alternatively, the link of the batches there, the courses there under my video in the description box. Follow us on all our social media handles. Work really hard. Don't sleep early. And maybe solve a couple of more passages. Good night, everyone. God bless you.